All right, so how about Asako or Bruce? What do you guys think about this as a possible collection? Again, we've got a Farreid sponge that's got a commensal black coral growing throughout it, and I think the Farreid, if it's a known genus, it would probably be in the Aspidoscopulia, but I'm not even sure it's a known genus. Okay, pilot, let's go ahead and see if we can get this thing. All right. Asako and Scott have thought this would be a good idea. And
I'm back.
Hydraulics are up.
Everything's ready.
Which one are we collecting? The one on the left?
Probably just do the port
you missed the
box.
close-up, but it's one of these weird
Right.
sponges that actually has a commensal
Do you
black
want
coral
anything on
growing
the
amongst
screen?
it.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
sure, we can get Minizus up.
That's
You can't see it. It's really
go
tiny.
away for lunch for a few minutes and all sorts of weird stuff happens.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, so I
Do
was
you want
trying
me
to get
to
a
center
view
it
of
on the
if we
specific
could
pilot?
see
Sure.
if the black coral came from a single point. I think instead the pilots were looking at the sponge overall and when they went down. But it was my impression that instead of having several stems of black coral arising from different parts of the sponge, it instead appeared to be coming from one point. So because of that, I would say you want to try to collect a fair amount of this, like get low on that stem to make sure you get to that point where the black coral is arising.
Can you zoom in
That may be quite
video a little bit?
different from the other black hole sponge relationship, in which I think there were many separate colonies, actually.
Yeah, I agree, Scott. And he's going to try to grab the whole thing, just to let you know. He thinks he can get this in the box.
I think that's a great idea. And I will take my leave now and be back with you a little bit later.
Great, thank you,
Thanks,
Scott.
Scott.
And pilot, this is a little bit of a brittle sponge, just to give
Oh,
you
it
a
is?
warning.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can get it below, right near the stem on the base, it should pop right off.
Sure. Right there?
You want more zoom?
Yeah, that looks good. Like I said, it might just pop right off of the ground, too. Yep, like that.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that's okay. Well, yeah, if we can grab it.
Barely nicked it there.
And don't let the current catch it.
Still thinking, but yeah, I didn't. Okay, let's call it Farreidi, Farrei, maybe EI, I think. That's right, with Antipitherian.
Oh, my gosh. That is very brittle.
Get an idea of the current down here, by the way.
Before you do anything, pilot, do you want me to open the drawer to see, like, so you can go like right straight into the...
Hold on 1 second.
Got it.
Okay.
And I think we got a fair amount of the black coral, but let's again just get it in the box. Because it's so, there it goes.
Trying not to crush it here, Chris.
I know, this is a hard one, sorry.
It's all right.
But it'd be a little more durable than that. Caught us both by surprise.
Yeah, Fernando, we can slowly start to open the box.
Copy. Port side is ready. Come out on Mini-Sue's video, please.
I think there's still some of the coral on there.
Yeah, I think there is too.
Do you want to zoom in on Mini Zeus real quick?
Yeah, I think I can see it. Looks kind of woolly. And some right in the bottom part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that enough for you?
Yeah, that's enough for us.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that is extremely brittle.
Yeah. You wonder again how a sponge like this could survive a high current environment. They do. Fabulous. Thank you very much, pilot.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. So what's great about this is there's people out there who work on black corals right now and are very interested in this commensal relationship. And also Dr. Konstantin Tabachnik at the Shirshov Institute in Moscow is very interested in this group of farreids too. So this actually could be a really nice, is a very nice specimen for a couple different researchers here. And a weird relationship between a glass sponge and a black coral.
Oh, did you see that little candelabra sponge in the lower left?
Yeah, that's one of the chondrocladia lyras that we were zooming in on the other day. Earlier today, that Roland pointed out just before we got to the rock. Really unusual sponge. It's a demo sponge.
All right, co-pilot coming back up.
Copy.
All right.
Great, thank you very much, Dan.
So that last move was 090.
Or it was 290.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it was 290.
Copy. So I actually moved to 270 to keep you in view. I'm going to go back to 290.
Yep. I think, well, I see a little bit of a slope here. I think maybe we kind of kitty corner this here. Do you want to come back to like maybe like a 270? So see the slope off to the side. I want to kind of continue.
There's kind of like a
Alright, centering
small
270.
white star-shaped
Yeah, let's.
outline to the left. If
You
you're
can come
in a
down a little bit.
conveniently placed location.
Coming down.
I'm sorry, Chris. Can you repeat?
Sorry. To the left, there's a star-shaped. It might be a
up
dead
there?
trunk, but I just
Like
thought I'd
up
take
on the upper left?
Yeah, upper left next to the coral.
It looks like a dead coral foothold.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get a move, Nav.
You went 30 meters at 275 then? 270?
I'm on
Yeah,
270.
I think it's a dead stock.
Yeah, 20 meters, 270. Maybe that'll get us on top of the ridge, and then we can
Yeah.
readjust from there.
Yeah, we don't need to move in anymore. We can just
Okay.
move on.
All right.
Thank you.
Bridge, nav.
This is the bridge. Go ahead.
Ready for a ship move. 20 meters, 270 degrees, 0.2 knots.
20 meters, bearing 270 degrees, speed 0.2.
Good copy.
Nav, I'd like to confirm bailout is 095.
That is correct.
All right, move coming up.
Yeah, you heard that alarm. That's the weather report.
Yeah. It always comes in about this time, I think.
So let's take a quick zoom on these stock sponge, the one in the middle.
All right, I really can't go too much further here.
Oh, that's fine. It's something
But we can do a quick zoom.
Yeah, a quick zoom would be plenty. I believe this is Caulophacus. This is one of the many stock sponges that we encounter. This might be the first Caulophacus today, though, so simply trying to make a note of it.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep.
Looks like it's got a crinoid and a couple of other things on its stock as well.
Great. Okay, we can zoom out.
Yes, thank you.
Let's not look too far out in the distance because I can't go there yet.
No worries. Oh, there's a nice little sea cucumber if you have a moment for a quick zoom.
Sure. Do a quick zoom, Roland.
Some of my
ROV
favorite
nav.
animals in the sea, sea cucumbers,
A
little
glitch in the DP, nothing big.
marine,
put in that move
sort
again.
of earthworm-like
sorry, can you
animals.
repeat that? I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, I had a little
related to sea
glitch
stars,
in the
as strange as
entry
that
of the
may
DP.
sound,
I'm
but
going to go ahead and put in your move again.
digest organic ooze off the
Copy.
bottom.
Come out.
Is everything
Oh, it's
okay with you
everything's
now?
fine.
Your
Everything's
body
fine.
wall?
Everything's
Okay.
fine.
The original move with 20 meters at 270, 0.2 knot.
Roger. Coming up.
Coming back toward you a little bit, Fernando. We'll curve around and push out when the ship starts moving.
Copy.
What was that video? Oh, copy. Don't know if I was. There you go.
ROV nav
Lower
bridge.
bottom of
Moving
the
again.
screen.
Copy that.
Brown.
Lower bottom.
Yeah, it may be a dead sponge with a crinoid, but I thought it was one of those
You want to take a snap zoom?
little ball corals.
Oh,
That's all it is.
looks like we have a dead sponge stock
Yep.
with a crinoid living on the top of it, taking advantage of the water current, feeding with the long feathery arms.
Looks like we're maybe making some tracks now. Is that
Swimming hollow terrain or something.
We are
coming
moving.
at you.
That's
swimming
Center
hollow they're in?
screen. Some kind
What
of
was that?
something.
I think it's just a floating
Oh,
something.
a little bit of debris, I think, something muco,
Okay,
mucosal
Seamount.
debris, yeah, marine snow.
Saw pink on it at one point. If you get a chance, something that might be nice to see is a partial zoom as you scan across the surface of these rocks, where there's a little edge. I think we see a bunch of those candelabra sponges. I've seen probably 10 or 15 or more today.
Oh, there's a
Okay.
brown colony right below us, lower part of the screen. I think that's a black.
you are heading off, pilot. Would you like me to change direction?
No,
Not
no,
sure
no.
Okay.
which one it is, but For those of you on
Do a quick
shore
zoom,
side,
real quick.
if you could take a look at this black coral
Sirius
that
is moving now.
we're imaging, let us know if that's
That video. What was that video?
I'm saying he's talking to Copilot.
Yeah, well, you're
But,
moving right now.
Zoom out.
Yeah,
Copilot.
but we're moving, so
Just a
Thank you,
real,
pilot.
real quick. I'm gonna push up.
yeah, no worries. Thank you.
Got the first of that yellow sponge today.
Can we quick zoom on this yellow fellow?
Yep. The yellow fellow. You got
Yeah,
it.
the
Go
sponge.
ahead and quick zoom.
This is that. I believe this is
Hold
that new
there.
species that Chris identified on the wall when we were departing
Two shrimp on it.
yesterday. It looks kind of like polyopogon, but it's yellow, and it had that fold through the middle. Great, thank you.
Okay, zoom out.
ROV nav bridge, move complete.
Copy.
Swimming left.
Oh yeah. What is
Shrimp.
that? Oh, it's a shrimp.
More falling
Yeah,
than
it's just
swimming.
from-
can do a
Nice.
quick zoom.
One, yeah. Wow,
Big dude.
looks like the lights
Thin.
reflecting off some of the parts on the rostrum there.
I'm gonna kill lasers. Getting pushed away from him.
It's like some kind of Caridian shrimp. Caridians are sort of true shrimp. They are identified by that large secondary flap on their abdomen, which, because of the astounding view of the camera, you can see sort of a round overlapping circle right behind the body. But I'm good if science or if video is good.
Video is good.
Okay, and zoom out.
Let him fly off your side.
It's good practice tracking. All right. Well, upslope. It's like a 260 now, looking by D2. At least it's turning west, and maybe it'll push more north once we get further over. I think we put in another move, 30 meters.
Copy that. You should still have some residual swing, but 30 meters you said?
Yeah.
Do you want to make it 270 or 260?
2.6 looks better.
Yeah, 2.6.
Okay, centering on 260.
Bridge, RV nav.
It's the bridge, go ahead.
Hey, we're ready for a ship move here.
All right.
30
Video
meters
swapping out.
at 260, 0.2 knots.
30 meters, bearing 260, speed 0.2.
Good copy.
Coming up.
Come down a little bit, Fernando.
Copy, coming down. Delta
little
15.
Round thing in that dark exposed
Round thing. Oh, up
part of the rock
kind
ahead of us.
of mid-screen here.
Yeah. Let's take a look at that at your convenience.
Sure. We can go ahead and zoom in video.
ROV nav, move initiated.
Copy.
Just a dead sponge base.
Oh, it's another sponge base.
Yeah, we
okay.
can zoom out.
Thank you.
I know it looks like a starfish from afar.
Actually, I was thinking it was a barnacle, but yeah, everything is a starfish from afar. Thank you. Ooh, can we snap? There's a stock crinoid down there.
I see it down there.
You see it?
Yeah.
Pilots, I'm going to temporarily stop you
So
just to be able to
within
check noise.
Okay.
crinoidea, there are two morphological variants. There's feather stars, and then there's the older forms, which are known as stocked crinoids, or sea lilies. And they are the same type of general animal. They hold their arms up into the
You
water,
can zoom in video.
and they filter organic particles as the water currents bring them by. But the difference is that they're attached to the bottom with a stalk. These are very old animals. There are records, there are fossils of animals like this in rocks that date back to the Paleozoic. So when you're looking at these, you're almost looking at sort of an animal that has been around for a very long time, older than dinosaurs in many ways. These often have lots of animals living on the stalks and even sometimes living on the arms themselves. There are very few of them left. There's a surprising number of them in the oceans today, but they live primarily in deep sea habitats. Also, sometimes in the Antarctic. Yeah, some of these actually have stalks that are free of the bottom and they can move around. There's an interesting relationship with them in that all feather stars actually are essentially stalkless, stocked crinoids. That cup at the top kind of pops off when they become adults, and they swim off to live a different life than their stalked predecessors. Thank you. I believe that was actually the first stock crinoid today, too. Neat. Bruce Mundy, an endless source of information, tells us that that shrimp we saw near the stocked crinoid was in the family Nematocarcinidae.
I don't think. Have we seen this yet today?
This sponge?
Oh, that's sponge.
Yeah, that's Waltheria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just look more dense than the others, but
yeah,
it's the same thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think we actually saw a shorter one when we were collecting that sponge black coral hybrid thing.
Gotcha.
That's an interesting. I think that's a black coral over in the distance.
ROV nav bridge
Some kind
move
of.
complete.
It's a
Copy.
like a fan to the left.
To the left, up ahead.
Yeah. Looks like it has sort of a white patch on it. Yes, I live in hope. That's a starfish feeding on this coral.
Well, let's do a quick zoom,
Yeah.
snap zoom just to see. Looks like
No,
a
it's
brittle star.
brittle star is living on this coral.
Okay, let's zoom out.
Yeah, we can pass and move on. So we're looking down on an amazing basalt formation. One side covered by, looks like these bizarre barnacles, which cover them in these engaging patterns. I believe to the left, that's, if we could just do a quick
yeah,
zoom,
sure.
so we could verify what that is. That might be a feather star, or it might be one of mine, Persingid sea
You
star.
want to do a quick partial zoom?
Yeah, so that's a feather star. We had just talked about a stocked crinoid. This is actually the unstocked type. Oh, and look at this. The surface of this rock is covered with all of these little candelabra sponges. These are carnivorous sponges.
Okay,
There's
zoom
quite an
out.
abundance of them. Interesting. Thank you.
Yep. And what's the swing right now? Is it like just like 3 or 4 minutes, Nav?
Yes, about that.
Can we stop? So Cirrus will probably settle out pretty soon.
Yes.
I think we should,
Put another move in.
yeah. 270. Yeah, 270 looks good on D2.
Okay. Moving
Yeah.
to 270.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go ahead and call it in now.
Sure, let me get this USBL started real quick, please.
Okay.
Okay, you want to move at 270?
270, 30 meters.
Okay. I had a quick error show up. I'll show you in a second. Bridge, RV nav.
This is the bridge. Go ahead.
Ready for ship move. 30 meters at 270, 0.2 knots.
30 meters, bearing 270, speed 0.2.
Copy.
Coming up.
Just very briefly, I saw this error flash 232 link to transceivers not
Really?
claimed. Just
Okay.
very briefly.
But that could be the serial string error that Josh was
could.
talking about.
Yeah. I haven't been able to get it back again, and I tried to put it in a diagnostic mode, and it wasn't working.
When you say it wasn't working, is the USBL wasn't working, or the...
We're getting those erratic
Okay.
returns. Yeah.
Okay.
So we should try to be
nav,
precise with what we're saying.
Copy that. No, when I tried to put it into diagnostic mode, it just wouldn't track.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I couldn't put it in a diagnostic mode is what I'm saying.
Okay.
That was the very first time it has been any error today.
So looks like there's a Walteria sponge on the right that has something white on it. Onto the right there?
Sorry, which,
Oh, I'm sorry. There's a sponge on the right side.
gotcha. With
and
a little
there's-
squat lobster
yeah,
or something
let's
there?
go look at the squat lobster.
Sure.
Squat lobsters are always
We
good.
can do a quick zoom here with video. Hold there.
Yeah. So these are frequently encountered crustaceans in these habitats. These are squat lobsters. I'm not familiar with the family, but they often have these very long claws. Often you see them commensally living on corals, and in this case a sponge, which is sort of unusual.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Zoom
can
out.
move on. Thank you.
Thanks, video.
Nav, our last move was bearing 260 or 270?
It is bearing 270.
Copy.
And Bruce Mundy chimes in with the name of that squat lobster out there in the Galathoidea, the Chirostyloidea.
Any interest here?
Yeah, let's look at that big coral with the bare spots in the middle.
Okay. How you doing, Don?
Doing well. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Good dive, huh?
Yeah, I hit a real high density spot when we first landed. It's been a little more sparse as we moved along the ridge, but
Okay.
we've got one rock sample in the starboard box and then one bio sample in the port.
Right. Copy that. The previous co-pilot passed that on to me. Everything seems to be working okay.
Yeah.
It looks like
Good.
we're zooming in on
Can you go ahead and zoom in video?
bamboo coral. It's called that because the skeleton underlying the tissue has these long white branches that are interrupted by these dark bands, giving it the superficial appearance of bamboo. They feel more like porcelain if you ever look at the skeleton. This one normally has tissue covering the skeleton, but it's likely that some kind of predator, perhaps a sea star or perhaps tiny worm-like mollusks, have devoured it. These are home to lots of different
That didn't
animals.
hold well.
There was a bamboo coral to the left also that had, I thought, something growing on it.
ROV nav, move complete.
Move complete. Thanks, Bridge.
Nav,
That's
how
weird.
far
Okay,
was
I
that
guess
last
I was
move?
mistaken.
Bearing 270 was that last move.
Yeah.
Co-pilot.
Wow. What was the distance you were going?
Looks like 30 meters.
30 meters. Okay, copy that. Because we
So this
are
is,
coming on top of
the Smithsonian.
C2
This is the
right
Okeanos
now, so
Explorer.
we still got some
This is
swing to go.
Yeah,
Chris
I
Ma, from
think
the
you do
Smithsonian's
have to
National
swing.
Museum
Yeah.
of Natural History.
Um,
I'm joined by my co-bio lead, Chris Kelly, from the University of Hawaii, and we're currently investigating a deep-sea habitat in the Johnston Atoll region at about 2,500 meters or so.
No,
Are we at
2,060 meters or
2,060
so. Yeah.
meters? Excuse me. And currently, we're seeing a change of personnel in the pilot and engineering line in front of us. So we're
Okay, pilot, just so you're
sort of,
aware, ship just finished the move of 30
casually
meters. And we're
examining
over
the-
top of you and almost looking
the
back.
seascape in
so
front of us.
a little bit of swing
While they
left
do
too.
that,
So.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's saying, what did I miss?
Adjust a bit.
We saw one of your yellow polyopodons.
270 seems to be
Really?
direction of
Yeah.
movement.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, there was a
Trying to
few
acquire
things, but mostly
ridge.
we were transiting over. We
High
saw
pack would suggest
spot
maybe
lobster on a Walteria, which I don't know how uncommon
ballpark
that is,
of
but seems
295, but we'll see what
Usually
the
they have
local
maybe
does.
shrimp inside.
yeah. But
Kind of a northwest
another,
ridge.
we
If that makes sense.
passed over some nice cliff face or edges of these. What do you call them? Formations with the barnacle distributions all over the edge. So interesting.
Pushing out, Don.
Yeah.
Say again?
I'm pushing out.
Okay, roger that. Copy.
So who do we have up there now?
Well, here in the pilot chair, Dave Wright with the Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration. And to my left we have,
Levi Unima, sitting navigator.
to my right,
Don Liberatore, co-pilot.
and farther right in the video chair,
Over in the corner, Bob Knott.
And back in the back row, Annie White.
Woohoo, Annie.
And I'm Chris Kelly with the University of Hawaii, one of your science leads.
And this is Chris Ma from the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History.
And to my left is...
Nicola Rodriguez from University of Hawaii at Hilo.
So we are we are seeing some nice animals here on the bottom, most of which we've imaged before today. We're looking for some new stuff. And Dave, we are looking for a second rock. I know you're pretty disappointed that Dan hogged all the collections yesterday, doing a fantastic job, but you know, if you see anything, we don't need something that we're going to spend a lot of time because it's really wedged in tight or anything, but if you see a good candidate,
I'll try to rock your world.
You'll try to rock my world. Thank you. And on that note, I hate to tell you, but a quick thing, our bad joke of the day. Annie is here. Now, Annie, do you want to tell it or do you want me to tell it?
Annie should tell it. Totally.
I think I'll let you do that.
Are you sure? This joke is so bad that it could win the worst joke of the cruise award.
So thank you so much for broadcasting it.
Yes. Okay, here it is. And she's not sure. She heard it years ago, but here it is. And here's my question to you, Chris, because it's one of these question jokes. Where do sheep sleep when they're out camping?
I don't know, Chris. Where do they sleep?
The sheep sleep in sheeping bugs.
Oh, God.
That's bad.
That is so bad. I think we reached a new level. Thank you very much for your offering, Annie.
That seems to have nothing to do with the deep water or science.
No, it doesn't.
Here's
I'm
one.
so sad.
Oh, God. Here's one for you, marine biologyophiles. Why do cnidarians sleep well at night?
I don't know.
Because the sea is silent.
Ooh. Oh, jeez. You guys who didn't get that, well, somebody's had to have gotten it.
That's an inside joke.
That's an inside joke. That was a good one, though.
Cnidarians is spelled with a C. C-N-I-D-A-R-I-A-N-S. Anyway, I credit bad invertebrate jokes for that.
So we've got a whip coral there. I'm not sure we've imaged these lepidopsis like whip corals before. Again, I'm not sure what you guys got while I was at lunch.
We did not image a whip coral.
Quickly trying to get us off these terrible jokes here and back to science.
This is the bridge. Go ahead.
Confirm bailout 095.
Bailout 095 degrees.
Brief moment there.
Thanks,
By the way, we will have one more bad joke each day, hopefully.
Today has been a bountiful array of sponges.
And corals.
Yes, and corals.
Tilting out.
Oh, those are those spiny ones. Neat.
So, let's see. Scott or Les? Scott, I'm not seeing you in the event log right now, nor do I see Les, so I think we're generally going in the lepidopsis group for now for this type of whip coral. Thank you very much for that one. A little baby bolosoma at the stalk.
And while we're here, just underfoot are quite a few rocks. Actually, just off to my left here is quite a load.
Okay.
Les Watling has joined us.
Oh, he has. Okay.
The Wolverine clade of bamboo corals, apparently.
The C1 clade. So Michelle is going to correct that. That's one of our. Wow, look at him. He just.
Crab.
But you see, he jumped off the rock.
Did it?
Yeah, wow. The video will pick that up later on. That was pretty wild.
There he goes.
I'm not so sure that's the Lamoho. I think that's the Parapagurus with the anemone on the rear end. We got distracted from the rock hunt. Excuse me.
He's quite shy. He's running for cover, and well, he should.
So we got a nice size one on the right, and you're feeling a little lopsided, aren't you, Dave?
Yeah, we need to ballast here. So,
what about the one in the back there?
Yeah,
right above the lasers.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not cemented in there.
I think you got a chance. It looks like a good pillow. John Smith or Jonathan Tree, are you guys out there? We're going to try to grab another rock
Looks like
here.
You got,
if you're there,
port
and
forward
you
has a
call
rock
in
it already, pilot.
Make sure you're on board.
So you're going to have to go starboard to the side, or unless you can.
And your hydraulics are spun up.
Squeeze it in there with it, I guess. But
you're welcome.
Okay. Tina Molitsova has joined us. So, Tina, I don't know if you were watching earlier, but we got a sponge in the family Furiidae with that commensal black coral that we collected on a different member of that species many years ago that Daniel Wagner, I think, and Dennis Apresco were working on. This could be one of the sponges that...
hey, Chris, Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan. How about that rock?
Hey, well, I'm watching you guys kind of probe around at that rock that seems to be loose right there. That looks good as any.
Well, then we're going with it.
All right, that sounds good.
So there we have it. Geologist approved. Woo!
It's a beauty.
Now, what side did you say he had a rock already?
On the
Well,
port side, he's already got one.
so making all these collections and putting them in the rock box as I come back and see it. So this is the first sample I think I've got to watch you guys poke around and check out.
Yeah, we're trying to be opportunistic here, Jonathan, because as you can see in the background, there's a lot of consolidated substrate here.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of pretty much just very thick and intergrown manganese crust. So
I think this has enough girth and have something inside. The other one is quite a bit bigger than this, so this is a good size one. I think not quite a bit, but
there's your 10 centimeters.
yeah, I saw the first one you got as you were collecting it, and that one seemed to be pretty large in size. So
there is a rock.
This one looks to be about maybe 10 by 30 centimeters or so from the laser.
Sure looks like
right.
it to me. I'm going to wing in just,
Yeah, so I think being opportunistic and grabbing whatever you can will be
Video,
the best for this dive, especially if we can get two rocks per dive.
Yeah.
And,
starboard wing
if any of you are actually joining out there and have seen us collect these rocks before, these rocks are very valuable to the geological community, specifically where they're being collected right now. They're going to offer a whole new avenue for geologists to start probing the more higher resolution age structure of these volcanoes. The current seamount that we're diving on right now is actually not just one volcano. It's composed of approximately 3 separate volcanoes that I've been to identify simply based on the morphology or how the lava flows have flowed onto each other based on the mapping data that we collected just this past January. And so there's been a pretty significant amount of dating work on the large regional scale over thousands of kilometers, mostly going along these northwest trending seamount chains. And they've revealed 2 different age structures. There's one age structure that seems to have been formed synchronously over 1,000 kilometers, making it a little bit different from the one volcano every couple million years that erupts around Hawaii. So we've got a span of volcanoes that stretches over 1,000 kilometers in the Pacific Ocean, and they all seem to have the same age. And that's the same thing that we see on the other side of another northwest trending seamount chain that makes up the Line Island. But there hasn't been much work into the east-west and higher resolution trends and age dates. And so all of these rocks that are being collected, multiple ones from the same seamount and on different portions of the seamount, can help put together the higher resolution. By higher resolution, I mean within 100,000 years of difference in when these volcanoes actually formed. So these will be very interesting for geologists to take a look at, and a whole new opportunity that has never been available before. So these rocks are invaluable to up-and-coming geologists that are going to be studying this region.
Well, that's music
so happy to see you guys getting 2 rocks from this side.
Yeah, that's music to our ears, Jonathan. And as you know, we always try to get material that's useful for both biology and geology as well. So we've got 2 from this seamount, just like we did yesterday, the other seamount, and hopefully that'll support your hypothesis here of the 3 volcanoes, which I saw your whole analysis.
Thanks,
and thank you very much for sending me your presentation earlier that you gave on it. So it's a really cool story, and I hope we're able to add to that with these collections.
So to give an overview,
and it's an opportunity, like I just said before, that hasn't presented itself up until when you guys have been able to get the ROV down there at a very specific place and make very accurate collections where we know exactly where they have come from. Because previously, the only rocks that were available to do any kind of analyses with were rocks that were collected from dredge hauls. So a dredge haul, for those of you who don't know, ends up basically being a metal bucket, if you will, that's tossed over the ship and dragged along the bottom, and it picks up rocks wherever they are and wherever they're loose, and you really have no idea where they came from, and sometimes they could even come from a completely different volcano than you actually thought they were coming from. So the ability of the ROV to make these incredibly accurate and detailed samples is something that's going to be new, and it's a whole new data set that geologists will get to play with. And with the increasing knowledge of kind of how Hawaii works using the Hawaiian model for these long linear seamount chains, we have something that we expect as an age progression. So sometimes we expect one complete different region to be much older than another region. And so that gives us some working model for what we would maybe expect how this works. But now that we can sample one seamount that may have 5 different volcanoes and get samples from all the 5 different volcanoes, we can start to back out different details. So if you think about the big island of Hawaii that has the active volcanoes of Mauna Loa and Kilauea, we can actually start to we can start to resolve the age differences between those 2 active volcanoes. And as Chris was saying, I've made some predictions that are based on our mapping data on which ones I think are older than each other. But without these rock collections, there's no actual definitive evidence in which one is which. So these are really cool rocks for those of you who think rock collections might just be just a rock from the seafloor. They actually have a lot more of a story to tell than just a rock. So, in addition to the age dates, we can use the mineralogy and chemical compositions to start trying to understand how they formed and what kind of volcanism was going on. And these rocks will offer more than just an age. They're going to support science for years and maybe decades to come. So very valuable.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. I really appreciate it. And I think Bruce Mundy is chomping at the bit to tell us a bit about this fish here. Bruce, are you on there?
Yes, I'm on here. This is something that I had been expecting to see all through this dive. We only saw 1 fish before this. This is a cutthroat eel, Synaphobranchus, and it had a very short dorsal fin that began about halfway back on the body, which indicates that it's Synaphobranchus brevidorsalis, brevi, brief, short, and dorsalis for that dorsal fin. They can be fairly abundant at these depths on other dives, but we hadn't seen any on this dive, and that had me scratching my head. They're one of the larger predators down here at these depths. They feed on small fish and crustaceans. They are also probably scavengers on larger things that fall down from the sea surface. They're called cutthroat eels because the gill openings are placed low on the throat, almost joining up with each other, or adjacent to each other on the bottom of the throat, which gives them that common name cutthroat eel. Synaphobranched eel, cutthroat eel. I would have expected to see more of them. It's interesting that fish life is so sparse down here. Tina had asked if it was because of low oxygen. Oxygen is, I don't know how it compares to other areas, but we're not in the oxygen minimum layer. So that may be part of the explanation about why fish are so scarce, but it's not all. The surface waters here should be fairly productive. We're in the area of the equatorial currents with some upwelling that goes on. So I don't really understand the whole reason why fish are so scarce here. The bottom's fairly bare. We haven't seen many small mobile crustaceans aside from the squat lobsters and corals. So there may not be much food for fish in this area at these depths. Anyway, cutthroat eel. It was nice to see it.
Thank you, very much, Bruce. It's Bruce Mundy with the Inouye Regional Center. It's NOAA's premier center in Honolulu on Ford Island. This is a coralliid in the genus Hemicorallium, and what is that weird thing soiling this coral, Chris?
This is actually kind of an unusual sighting. So this is an ophiuroid, what I would call a snake star. These are commensals, that is, they live on these corals for no they benefit by extracting food from the water current as it goes by. Typically what happens is they coil their arms around the branches of these corals really tightly, and as a result they're almost impossible to physically remove. What's really odd about this one, and I think it might be because it's feeding, is that its arms are extended almost completely. They're not wound up or coiled around the branches, and so we actually are able to see now just how big one of these really is, because the arms are extended. And from the lasers, I'm thinking that this is easily 20 centimeters and more across. So it's actually quite a large animal. But typically, when we see them, they're all sort of bunched up. That's sort of one of the reasons why these earn their names. Snake stars, or even the larger group that they belong to is the Euryalida, and that refers to Euryale, the Medusa or Gorgon. So, they have snakes for hair and that sort of thing. But in this case, it's a really unusual sighting of how the arms are extended and how the mouth is probably enjoying the water current and whatever food happens to be going by it.
270 still a good
okay, so
good direction.
It's maybe the second coralliid that we've seen today, and now is a different species from the first one. And so that was like a double treat there.
You guys probably getting ready for a move? Yeah. Okay, I'll call it in.
So we got a
bridge ROV
in
nav.
Calophacus genus, and more of these
bridge. Go ahead.
Yeah, ready for a move here. 30 meters, bearing 270 degrees, speed decimal 2.
Range 30 meters, bearing 270, speed.
Kind of wondering if there's something in this channel that's running amongst this rocky habitat.
Looks like that.
So you don't see something, like you just want to look in the channel?
I'm just wondering if there's anything in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Can't tell by the sonar, but by the view, that's what it looks like.
Okay.
We're going to find out as we cruise along this channel.
I think I just probably adjust the next move a little bit more to starboard. Does that sound good?
Sponge stock with the black. I think that's just a crinoid.
Looks like larger corals. There's a few more of those. These are these big bamboos we saw earlier on. And what's new? That's what I'm always asking. Pilot, this bamboo coral to the right looks new because it looks yellow, unless my eyes are deceiving me.
It is yellow, but I think it might be overgrown, or it has some crinoids on it. Maybe we'll just
even
go
better.
look.
Can we take a peek at
We
this?
will find out. It's actually at the end of my leash,
Yeah,
but patience will reward us. I've got that on
I can
my
give you a little
list.
bit here.
That's all right, Don. We're
Yeah,
headed
okay.
that way. We'll look
Yeah.
around the neighborhood here because there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so
we
and
will
we're getting
come
a
back
picking
to
up
that.
of the community density, it looks like, in the background there, too. So it's going to be one of these sites that kind of waxes and wanes. We'll get some nice little patches, and then we'll have a bare area, another nice little patch, and I suspect this is the way it's going to turn out today. There's a big leggy bamboo, one of these ones that we imaged earlier on.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of them denuded. I'm kind of wondering where the tissue might be, because I don't see anything eating them. Yet, anyway.
Yeah, well, that might be what this yellow stuff is up here on this guy.
Yeah, there are yellow bamboos that are the side, but also we've discovered that the yellow color could be the result of a zoanthid overgrowing it. So we really don't know. Somebody just chimed in, I think, or chimed off.
Hi, Chris. Scott France chiming back on.
Okay, what do you think about that bamboo we saw a minute ago? Is that something different, or have we seen that already? That kind of yellowish one.
I didn't see the close-up. I saw you approaching it, and I was looking up the dial-in number, and so I didn't see the zoom, unfortunately.
We haven't zoomed yet, Scott, so you didn't miss it. He's waiting for a little more tether.
There we go. So I heard you suggest that maybe it's overgrown with zoanthids, and I suspect you gave the alternative that there are bamboo corals that have yellow-colored tissue, so one of those two possibilities.
Yeah, so we are about to discover the truth. Momentarily, stand by.
We'll go from here, and then later on I'll get square off with it when I get a little bit more tether. But
well, let's first see what it looks like from here, and then whether it's worth spending more time with, or.
Well, it's on the way.
Oh, it is?
Where
Okay.
we're headed, so it's. Good to zoom video.
And the answer is...
Scott.
How about a little bit of both, Scott? It's kind of a yellow bamboo with zoanthids. No. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
No, it's zoanthids everywhere.
There's two zoanthids there.
Oh, wait, it's all zoanthids.
All zoanthids, yeah.
But it's two types. There's the yellow ones and the white ones.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That is what it looks like. So I don't know if that's... I think it is probably two types. But it's hard to use color as a species identifier. You know, there is one colonial anemone that grows...
It's a fish behind you. I see your tail cam. Probably the same one that was
but I
showing
agree,
around here.
Chris, those are two different things, two different hexacorals, either two different zoanthids or a zoanthid and a colonial anemone.
Yes.
Okay, and it's got a couple of little barnacles on it. So we're waiting for the ship, is that right, pilot?
Yes.
Okay. And we've got a little chirostylid squat lobster.
So is all of the original coral gone here, and this is all just a substrate?
That's
for...
just a bamboo skeleton. That's like...
Yeah. So we could probably pass this one by as we continue on.
It's like the Coraline equivalent of The Walking Dead. Except it's not walking.
Let's come wide, please, video. It's a zombie coral.
So,